Now it's Daniel who will take on.
Yeah, and I'll be standing here,
Yeah.
so that's fine. Okay, so I want to welcome everybody that spoke earlier today. So you can stay on, Rafael, at the stage. And everybody else can get up and move, so you're not too tired for these last 25 minutes that we have. So it's coffee in 25 minutes at 3 o'clock sharp. But let's gather the planning committee and people that have spoken during the day and get you up here.
You will get coffee in 25 minutes.
Yes,
I
believe it or not.
just try to bribe you a little bit.
Do you want to come up as well? No? Okay. I had a perfect question. No, that's fine. I can ask you over there as well. So let's keep this short and condensed. There's so many different thoughts over the day. I have like a ton of billion questions. It'll be a super short ending question and one question that is similar to all of you. I should also introduce myself. My name is Daniel, and I work as a coordinator at a Center for Environment and Development Studies. That's here at Uppsala University and Essler. Should I speak even closer to the mic, or?
Yeah, it's close to the mic, but maybe Martha would like to come here as well.
Well, we'll ask her anyways if there's the connecting questions. Okay. So the title is also Moving Mountains in University and Society. So there's no specific person or people here that have represented the university or education and research within the university framing. So in part, maybe I can try to do that. But then also, Sulemani, you're working with education as well. Du arbetar också med utbildning, Suleman? Mm. Precis. So that's great. Okay. So the framing with all of this and the subtitle of Moving Mountains. So what I wrote here is basically before we move mountains, we have to kind of know what mountain to move or mountains to move. We kind of have to find that passion. We have to find that kind of drive and direction in a way. And a lot of people here and in the panel as well, you have your professions and you have your passions in life. But basically, and I think we can start with you, Rafael, and then we can go back throughout the day with the different presentations we had. So basically, looking at kind of the worst case scenario, but also like the best case scenario and something in between. What are you working to save, to keep safe? That's kind of in the worst case scenario, but also to develop, hope to see grow into the future. And looking then more specifically at your work, but also Uppsala. What are your hopes for something that will happen over the coming 50, 100 years? But also, what do we need to keep safe and safeguard against the worst possible outcomes in all of this?
Wow. Well, I spend basically all of my days both in my profession and in my as a politician to try to work and focus on the energy issues when it comes to Uppsala and Sweden. But when it comes to what I think is most precious, what I think is so basic that our societies need to be equal. I really believe that in order to have this sort of transformation of society, we need to have equal societies. Otherwise, we're not going to get this development as fast as we need it to be. So I'm very actually afraid today when the last decades, what we really have been needing is more robust international organizations and more robust cooperations, and we really now need democracy to be strengthened around the world, and it breaks my heart that we're moving in the opposite direction.
Yeah. And inequality over the last 30 years has grown with more billionaires, but also, a consciousness about that, but not many. There's not a clear political party or a clear political movement, whether it's legislation or other forms of action concerning that, because a redistribution of wealth is not a very popular political agenda. But maybe that's also something that could be different in a local level. But I don't know how that would even play out. What Okej, Suleman, vi växlar över på svenska tillfälligt. Så utifrån den här titeln Flytta berg och de berg man vill flytta, utifrån värsta möjliga scenario, bästa möjliga scenario, någonstans däremellan. Vad skulle du säga att du vill arbeta för att rädda, hålla säkert in i framtiden utifrån dig själv och ditt arbete, men också vad är det du vill utveckla, se växa? Någonting åt det mer positiva hållet.
Tack för en väldigt intressant fråga. Dels när det gäller mikronivå eller makronivå skulle jag säga 2 punkter. För min del personligen så nämnde jag i morse att jag vill skapa den här återvinna de växter som har antingen medicinska eller troligt medicinska värde eller näringsvärde som håller på att försvinna från ett specifikt område i Östafrika, nämligen ett område i Somaliland, där jag försöker plantera de här växterna, men det behöver enormt arbete och kunskaper som jag inte har. Så jag är medveten, men jag ska försöka verka med andra krafter och är tacksam på alla som kan bidra till det. Men sen skulle jag också säga, jag har varit 2017 har jag varit i Somaliland och plötsligt öppnade jag på tvn och så hörde jag en politiska debatt i parlamentet där man diskuterade 2 punkter livligt lång tid. Och det var att förbjuda, eller man hade förbjudit all plastkassa på grund av att man såg att det finns enorm plast som går till havet, som Somalia har Afrikas längsta kust. Och det har varit problem som även i den nivån kunde märkas effekten. Så den är förbjudet nu idag, samma som Marocko som har förbjudit också plastanvändandet. Och sen plastpåsar menar jag. Och sen en glimt ljus till som man ser att idag finns Marockos som bygger världens största solenergiverk som man hoppas att många andra ska följa. Men jag som kommer från en utbildningsinstitution, Kista folkhögskola, har en roll som jag tycker att jag ska, eller som jag verkar och försöker verka för, och det är att vi tillsammans försöker lägga hand tillsammans för att kunna göra någonting, för att ingen kan göra allt när det gäller att flytta det här berget. Och jag säger en hadis som jag skulle återkomma som profeten sallallahu alaihi wasallam har sagt: om domardagen kommer och du har en planta av daddelträd, plantera den. Och daddelplantan, den behöver kanske 10 år för att växa full träd. Och domardagen har redan kommit. Detta visar mig att vi inte förlorar hoppet och att vi inte underskattar alla de här makronivåarbete som görs. Men det blir mycket bättre när många går ihop. Kista folkhögskola har tagit initiativet för One Sweden några år sedan och har också startat det som muslimska, en folkhögskola som muslimska bakgrund har startats av en baptiska kyrklig folkhögskola, Sjövik folkhögskola, som har varit initiativtagare till den. Och Kista folkhögskola i sin tur nyligen, för de 3 sista åren, har startat Sveriges första judiska folkhögskola som har nu under ett år har varit separat nu och har varit egen folkhögskola. Och detta menar jag att om vi lägger ihop alla krafter och tänker att vårt hem behöver oss alla, så tror jag att vi kan göra många små steg, men tillsammans blir stor. Så jag menade att jag engagerar mig i det arbetet för att kunna få ett mer perspektiv som är vi, nämligen folkbildningsarbetet.
Och där kan jag ju säga också att från vårt lilla centrum så tycker jag också att vi, men framförallt universitetet, skulle kunna vara mycket bättre på att samarbeta, eller meningsfullt samarbeta, vare sig det är folkhögskolor eller gymnasium och grundskola, men även andra universitet och högskolor också i andra delar av Sverige. So let's move over to you, Henrik, and your work in this global network. So what are you working to save, keep safe, develop, and hope to see grow into the future?
I think there are some things that comes up to my mind now that I think it's important. One is to sort of broaden up the interreligious dialogue and the interreligious action on climate justice. I am during the COPs, the climate conventions meetings, I am in the liaison committee for interfaith work during the COPs. So there are people from all religions during these negotiations. And I see that it's so important that people of faith actually can come together and act on climate justice. They say sometimes that 82% or something like that says that they are affiliated with some kind of religion. If those could come together to, and this is not just peace, love, and understanding in a hippie way. I mean, it's another way of doing this to actually say, enough is enough. We see this, and we see that people in our different communities are really going to get hit by a climate constrained world. So if those could step forward, I think the acceptance for what we actually have to do will be higher than if they just keep silent or leave this to politicians. I think that all kinds of people movements need to be in this. The other part I was thinking of to raise the importance of, and I'm sorry that I missed this morning with Ingrid Inga from Sami Council, is the indigenous people. Indigenous people, we work together with them in WCC, in the World Council of Churches. They have an indigenous group, and we try to work our agendas together. And indigenous people are often those who are like the canary in the coal mine. They are actually been affected first because much of their lifestyles is depending very close to ecosystems. So indigenous people over the world do suffer, but the other part is that the indigenous people and the indigenous spirituality could actually be a gift to the rest of the world for an understanding of the interconnectedness. And that, I think that could be interesting if they also could not just only be the victims of climate change, but also if the indigenous spirituality could learn the sort of the big religions, something about the communication between nature and humanity that the Western society after the Enlightenment sort of left behind. That was not so good, but at least it was some thoughts.
That was perfect. Anna-Karin?
Yes, thank you very much. I think I will continue to write books. I have just now published a small book on Ignatian spirituality, Ignatiansk spiritualitet on Artos. And I would like to continue to help people to recognize their love for creation and God's presence in the midst of creation. And I think that gives us, that love and that presence gives us lots of energy to act for climate change and for climate justice. And so I would like to continue to dig into the spiritualities of the world and into the spiritualities that are possible to practice within Church of Sweden, and see how we can motivate one another, not to lose hope, but to gain more hope through action. And secondly, I would like to work for that Church of Sweden is fossil-free by the year 2030. I think we should take a more tiny target than what the state has. The state has 2045, but I think that Church of Sweden should go ahead and be fossil-free at 2030, and share its learnings on its way. We have now in the Church of Sweden Synod, which is the parliament of Church of Sweden with 251 delegates, and I'm one of them. And we have a new commission in it, which is called Stewardship Commission, which has the questions on the climate, on environmental and the ecological crisis and peace issues. So I think I will continue to do a lot of work through that commission, if it's possible for me. And then I will continue to learn to cook in a good way that is not harmful to the beloved creation.
Okay, thank you. So basically the last very short yes and no question is, will you take part in the climate strike, or the adult version of the climate strike, September 27th? And are you taking part in anything, and are you in a sense walking out in a real strike fashion or not? So Henrik, we can go this way. You want to start?
Yes, I will start actually on the 20th of September to join the mobilization in New York and the climate summit. And the 27th, if I go on strike, nobody cares. but I will do everything to support the movement.
Well, I will also be in New York at this time, and at the International Conference for Sustainable Development. So I'll try to do that for sure. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Tar du del av klimatstrejken den 27 september?
Jag skulle gärna vilja göra det. Men jag har inte information om det.
Vi kan ge det allt.
Ja. Då, om det finns förutsättningar så kommer jag att ta del av det. Jag sa gärna. Jag hade inspirerats min kunskap idag om så att säga miljö överhuvudtaget och klimathotet. Jag har fått många inspirationer, så jag tror att jag hade lärt mig mest idag.
Anna-Karin?
Ja, jag tänker vara med både den 20 och den 27. Och vi har haft en liten strejk i Lilla Öregrund på Hamntorget. Hade vi förra gången det var en sån här världsstrejk. Nina gjorde en jättefint plakat med strejk för klimatet. Och jag hoppas att vi ska göra det den 27 också, annars så ansluter jag till Uppsala.
Yeah, and partly the reason I'm asking also, I'm partly involved on a very small time basis in the union here at the university, but it is, like you said, Henrik, nobody will really notice, and you still have the same amount of work to do when you come back Monday, but it is a real question. I mean, if you use general strikes as a political tool to change the world, or is it more that you leave work early to take part of a manifestation? There's nothing wrong with any of them, but I'm just making a difference. Yeah.
If maybe we could take one action, we who are here, that we commission to Martha Middlemiss and the Center for Religion and Society to write a letter to the Chancellor and say that it's our will from this conference that Uppsala University quickly becomes fossil-free in its stock market, in its stock, what do you call it, that it will divest, yes. Do you agree to that? Then it's a message from the conference to Uppsala University that it want them to follow in the steps of Church of Sweden and many others, and that they shouldn't fear, although maybe universities don't want to become poor, so maybe it's good for them to look at those who have not lost money on doing that. Maybe that's an argument that is biting. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks to everybody in the panel and everybody else that's not here that contributed, and also to Marta, part of the planning committee. Yeah, and then there's a ton of different organizations represented that planned all of this, so if you go into their respective web pages or social media, you find similar events or things happening, upcoming. I don't have to show them that. And then there's Speak at 3, and then at 3:30, outside the smaller entrance to the side, there's a re-emergence emergency walk, starting off with a silent part of it, and then it's a talking part of the walk. And I'm leading that, although it's partly a leaderless concept. But I guide the way, but I don't guide the conversations. So that starts 3:30 after the fika. And now, Anna-Karin, you want to say some final words? And maybe you as well.
Yes, I would like to thank you very much for your attention the full day, and all those who have been working together. And I know that Martha may be giving something to those who have contributed today in a special way. But what I would say is that I think it's a spiritual challenge to put your eyes on those who work for change and rejoice in them, and not to let Trump and Bolsonaro and others interfere with your mood. Turn your eyes to those who work for change and put your energy there, not denying what the others are doing, but not giving them the chance to influence your life.
Thank you. I'd just like to say one more thing, apart from thanking Anna-Karin for leading us throughout today. She's been a great voice of reason and moderation in moderating us today. So I'd like us to give a round of applause to Anna-Karin for making this day possible and leading us today. And I'd also like to say, if you want to inspire other people that weren't able to be here today, as you've noticed, we've been recording. So the presentations that were given today will be available in a while on CEMUS and CRS websites. So do let other people know that even if they couldn't be here, they can take part in the conference. And now